Victoria from Biblio Lifestyle, and you're listening to the Reader's Couch podcast, the show that will help you bridge the gap between living a full and busy life to one where you're reading, learning new things, and having fun. Today on the couch, I'm so excited to welcome author Chloé Pierre to talk about her new book, Take Care, The Black Women's Guide to Wellness. Take Care centers Black women and their experiences and encourages them to take care of themselves in order to bring their best self into the world. Now, while this book centers Black women's experiences, all readers, regardless of background, race, gender, or identity, can relate to and benefit from this book. Now, in this episode, Chloé and I discuss the various aspects of wellness, as well as delve into some of the book's chapters around the history of self-care, wellness, mental health, and authenticity. Chloé also generously shares her personal wellness journey and how she's taking care right now. Plus, we also get some great book recommendations. So, let's get into the episode because I can't wait for you to listen to my chat with author Chloé Pierre. Hi there, could you do me a favour really quick? Would you pretty please subscribe to the show, leave me a 5-star rating if you like it, and share an episode or two with your bookish friends? Better yet, if you could drop a link to the show or to your favourite episode in your book club or bookish group chat, that works too. I promise it only takes a few seconds, it really helps the show, plus I'll be incredibly grateful for it. So thanks in advance, and now on to the episode. Hi readers, welcome again to the Reader's Couch. I'm your host, Victoria Wood, and here on the couch with me is an award-winning author, speaker, content creator, and PR and marketing professional with a passion for creating a more inclusive wellness industry. But she's here on the couch to talk to me about her new book, Take Care, The Black Women's Guide to Wellness. Please welcome to the couch, Chloé Pierre. Hi, Chloé.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you here on the couch. Can't wait to talk about Take Care. But how are you feeling? How excited are you about your debut?
I am incredibly excited. I have been having a lot of reflections recently since the book came out in January. And I just think I'm like, wow, I've really done this. I think it's taken a while for it to hit home how incredible of, a task it is. What an incredible mission that I've set out on. And, the consistency part, I think is really important, that I really believe in everything that I do and everything that I say, and to have the audience for it and also a community that believe in me. I'm just so grateful. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next few years, and especially for the US debut. I'm just so excited and very grateful.
Absolutely. I mean, you've done it. It's been in the UK since early January. It's here in America now. So yeah, just really exciting things. But I want readers to hear it from you, Chloé. Tell us about Take Care and what can readers expect when they pick up a copy?
Yes. So what they can expect when they pick up a copy, I wanted people to pick up Take Care and read it and digest it and go back over it, and actually just to feel seen, heard, and almost for them to have a home in wellness, a home in themselves, a home which recognizes their need to take care of themselves, to look at their history, to look at our history and realize where we're going. There's just so much to unpack, but the book does a really good job of just scratching the first part of that surface. What I believe is that there are many people, and we're all at different levels, but there's many people that have started their wellness journey, but sometimes it's really easy to be demotivated, to be knocked off, because that's what life does to us, especially as Black women. And this is the kind of motivation. This is going to be the book that gets you back on track. And it's all about making wellness more approachable and accessible to the people that it derives from. And that is us. Wellness does derive from us, Black women.
Absolutely. And I was just so excited to see a book on wellness by a Black woman for Black women. But I also know I have listeners from all different backgrounds here. But I really want readers to hear it straight from you. Can other women benefit from picking up a copy and reading this book too? Can they gain knowledge, insight, and inspiration from Take Care as well?
Of course. And I want to thank you for bringing that up, because that is a lot of one of the issues that I face, is that I have people say to me, well, I can't buy your book because I'm not a Black woman, which is just ridiculous, because how many books have you read that haven't been written by Black people or Black women or women of color, but yet still, or people of color, but you still relate to it? And that's the whole point of Take Care, is that yes, it's written for Black women, but it's so relatable. And not only will you find yourself in this book, but you'll find wellness through the eyes and through the gaze of someone that you'll never even contemplate looking through, And I think it's about time that people look at things from a different lens. It's so easy to think, okay, this is my stance and this is my view of the world. And, yes, I hear all about my privilege and all of these things, but actually really deep it. This is the book that will do that. It's going to set you questions. It's going to tell you about the dimensions of wellness. It's going to tell you about our history, but not what you've already heard. It's going to empower you. This is not a point in the finger and being like, you're the reason why we're like this. No, but you do have to realize your part to play. And if anyone wants to be an ally, like really believe it, because unfortunately, the summer of 2020, it feels like it's just been reversed. All the work that people were doing on learning how to be allies, learning about privilege, learning about equity and race relations, it feels as if we're going backwards. So this is a book to get you back on track, not just for Black women, but for everyone.
I loved hearing that, and I can sit here and co-sign everything Chloe said. I've read the book cover to cover. I've read chapters 2, 3, 4 times to really feel what the words on the page were saying. And I think all women, Black, brown, any color you identify, red, yellow, green, white women, you can all benefit from reading this book. So pick up a copy, Take Care by Chloé Pierre. But Chloe, I want us to just really dive into the book itself. There are a few chapters I want to kind of, just touch on lightly. And the very first chapter you mentioned, the question of wellness, is what sent you on your own personal journey to really discover the meaning. And I have to say, this is a question I've sat with for some time with myself as well. What does wellness really mean? Actually, I started with, what does self-care mean to me? That was my origin question. Like, what is this self-care? How does this relate to me? How is this applicable? But I do identify more with the word wellness. So I want you to share with listeners the start of your journey in answering this question.
Yeah, sure. So when I discovered the word self-care, I immediately went online and searched a hashtag. And what came up was products. And what came up was white women in wellness positions or forms or facilities. And I thought, okay, but that can't just be it. So I wanted to be able to see myself and see others. As I said, this book is for Black women, but how incredible is it to see us all in the space? So for us to get there, you need to have inclusivity, inclusivity. You need to make it equitable. And I want to see many people around this table. That's why I wrote this book for Black women, to get us to that point, to level up the balance, really. But my journey, I felt frustrated with that. And I thought, that can't be right. Self-care shouldn't have a price tag. It shouldn't be for a particular type of person. The practices that we use in the Western world for wellness are derived from so many different places, but particularly places that Black and brown people derive from and originate from. And they're the ones that have created these techniques, and the Western world has stolen it and appropriated it and repackaged it back to us, or worse, not packaged it back to us at all. And I just think that there's so much danger in that, not just our culture being lost, but there's a lot of harm that's done when things are misappropriated. So that's a little bit of background as to why I started this mission, this journey. I just felt frustrated, in all honesty, and I didn't know what to do, but I thought one step is better than making no step at all. So that's why I started it. And quite quickly in my journey, I looked at self-care and what does it mean? For me, self-care really means it's an action. It's an action you take to do things that are going to help you live well and to help you improve both your mental and your physical and everything else that you deem appropriate and important for your overall well-being. One thing that someone said to me recently as a Black woman was that she actually doesn't identify with the word wellness. And that's something that I hope this book will do. It will help you. And I say this to the reader, whoever it is, whether you're a Black woman, a brown woman, wherever you're from, is that you see wellness as being something that is a part of you, it's around you, and you have the ability to make it inclusive and accessible to other people. You just have to take that on board for yourself. Join our community. Thyself is my community that I created, and then the book came afterwards. It's readily available to anyone. The resources are there, and it's about making people feel as if they're in charge of not just their wellness, but the overall wellness for everyone else.
Absolutely. I've often felt that it's not enough for us to take care of ourselves. I believe in community care. I
Yeah.
believe in making sure that other people around me in my space, when I occupy their spaces, they occupy mine. I think it's very important that we are all taking care of each other, because ultimately we want to live in a world where we are well, we are living as whole and full human beings. I love that in the book you also have a section dedicated to the history of self-care. And I love how, even though this book is a guide, you're not telling us what to do. You're essentially saying this is something you have to discover for yourself and identify what works best for you. I mean, was this intentional? Was this something you discovered on your journey in realizing there is no one size fit all and that you don't need to pay for every single thing? There are many ways you can take care.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. And I realize this because, it's not to say that you don't have to pay for things. The world we live in is the world we live in. I can't change that right now, but it means that you don't have to go and, sorry for the reference, but you don't need to go and buy a La Mer cream to feel well. You don't have to sign up to one of the incredibly expensive and exclusive gyms for you to, be a part of this movement. You can literally be out in nature. You can then encourage other people to do that with you once you found your safe space and once you feel really comfortable and confident in this area. So it does start with you. I do believe that there's a lot of solitude that needs to be had for you to start your well-being journey properly, because you need to understand who you are. You need to understand what matters to you, and that is going to be a you progress. That's a you project. And then you'll be able to bring other people on, or then you'll be able to open yourself up to other people who are like-minded, and that will naturally just happen anyway. And that is exactly what happened to me. I started off with an idea. I started my wellness journey at the same time. And I built something, and I built a community. And now that means that, yes, I can better my wellness, but I can do that as part of a community, and I can see growth. There's no wellness without growth. There's no wellness without people. There's a reason why it's called wellness and why we is in there. So yeah, I just want people to really take that, hone in on that, and do what feels right for you.
Absolutely. You also have a whole section on being your authentic self. And you mentioned it in the book here that it's something that's thrown around online. I think it is one of those misused words similar to self-care and all these other things out there on the internet. Tell us a bit about being your authentic self.
Yeah, being your authentic self, it's going to take a while, if I'm completely honest with you. But I think the process of being authentic is asking yourself questions. It's being able to honestly ask yourself questions and honestly answer them. And once you do that, you discover who you are. And then by doing that, then you can start advocating for yourself and you can start showing up in the world as you really see fit and what feels authentic to you. And I just think that it's just a different lifestyle once you get to that point. I can honestly say that, I'm not free from comparisons and, I see things around me. We live in the world that we live in, but I know what makes me feel full. I know what makes me feel well. I know what advocation means and how important that is to me. So by living by that truth, I only meet like-minded people. I only grow, and I literally feel better than I have in years. So authenticity to me is just a natural part of this wellness journey. I do list some of the dimensions in there, but it's just a natural course of each of those dimensions, whether that's your spiritual journey, whether it's your physical journey. Showing up and being authentic and discovering what that means to you means that you're sustaining your journey into wellness.
Absolutely. And there's so many chapters in this book, readers. There is mental health, there is grief, loss and healing, Black beauty, Black motherhood, creating a community, advocating for yourself, making a change. And there are also some affirmations you can live by and sayings. This book really is a great resource. It's a great guide. And again, it will guide you on your own unique journey. And another thing I love that Chloé talks about is the fact that what looks like your self-care or wellness journey, whatever you identify within this space, what it is today is not what it might be in a year or two. Life happens, and that's why there is no set regimen here. There is room for change. So again, this is an incredibly great resource. And also in the book, Chloé incorporates not just her own personal stories, but you also included the voices of different experts sharing different schools of thought, different ideas, different options for self-care. Tell us about that.
Yeah, if I'm completely honest with you, my work isn't necessarily about ego. It teaches me how to drop my ego. So for me to have other people in this space in my first ever project, it just meant that I was really honing in on the essence of Black women because I was speaking to them. They are the experts. They are the ones living. They're the ones that are pushing change. So many people that I spoke to are really pushing change in all of their areas, whether that's in the digital marketing field, whether that's in, actually advocating for Black women and Black women in business, i.e., Nicole Krenzel, who runs Black Girl Fest, speaking to other therapists. In the UK, there's such a small network of mental health and wellness practitioners. I really felt as if we really needed to champion them and they needed to have a voice in this space. I never want what I do to just be my voice. And I think I really achieved that with this. And I'm really looking forward to round two because there was only so much time and resources that I had then. And now, as I said before, once you're already on that journey, your mind, your world just opens up. And now I've met so many more incredible people from across the globe. That now means that I can make the next Take Care a real global success. We can really get voices from other people and we can really do the work that needs to be done. Tell the stories that need to be told.
Absolutely. And giving voice to these different traditions and giving credit and embracing what is working for us at each given time. So I agree. I find self-care and wellness in just simple things. I'll meditate sometimes for 5 minutes a day. I'm a big journaler. I'll journal daily, but if I fall off the wagon, it's fine. I get back on like nothing happened. I also love spending time in outdoors and nature. So at the park, at the beach, that's what I love to do. I'm really curious, how do you take care? What does that look like for you right now? And if you don't mind sharing how you take care with our listeners.
Yes, of course. So I love everything that you said. And, for me, as I said before, wellness does come in waves. It will look different from day to day, year to year. And that's absolutely okay. That just shows that you're growing, and that you're moving through things. even if it feels difficult. For me, where I'm at in my life, especially now that I've got the book written, it's out in the world. I'm working on managing my anxiety around that because it was a 2-year process and so much happened to me in that 2-year period. And I do mention it a little bit on my social media, which I won't do today, but please go to my social media. You'll see everything that I've been through. I'm quite an open and vulnerable person online, and I want to make that space so other people feel that they can do it and that they can share their issues rather than keep them bottled up. For me, my wellness looks like rest. It's dedicating time to rest. It's actually dedicating time to my physical as well. It's something that, I've been so busy building a community and building this book that certain things have, just not been on the up as they should be. And yeah, this is my time to do that now. So being out in nature is incredibly important. Travel, for me, it's a must. It means that I get to go out there. It means that I get to be inspired, and I can't do my job and I can't live my purpose without being inspired. So rest, nature, travel, those are and physical exercise. And yeah, those are my top 4.
Thanks, Chloe. Thank you so much for sharing what's working for you right now. And like you mentioned, this can change in time. And that's what I love is the permission you gave us in this book that you can change, you are growing, because I feel that every so often in my life as well. I'm curious though, now that you've written the book, it's out there in the world, you've gone through this journey of creating this community. And again, the book is here. If you could look back and tell your younger self anything, the younger Chloé, what would you tell her?
I would tell her that your voice really does matter and that you're an incredible person. Oh, I feel quite emotional. I would tell her that. I would tell her you've got so much to look forward to, and don't let the present and don't let other people's perceptions of you and reflections of themselves doubt your journey, and to get a move on now. If I had known that a lot earlier, I believe that I could be doing so much more by this time. But, as they say, everything happens for a reason. This was meant to be my journey. And now I have the insight because of my experiences to help other people. So, yeah, it would definitely be to just believe in yourself and to believe that you are going very, very far.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because without that journey, you wouldn't have been able to give us this community, give us this book. And again, I can't stress it enough. I do believe all readers, all women, men as well, need to get a copy of this book. I think often men are left out of the conversation, but if you go to Chloé's page, she has her own personal social media, Chloé Pierre, LDN. There is thy.self. And I love that you now have thyself men, thy.self men. Tell me about branching out and having just a whole community for men, because I often feel they're left out of the conversation. And we need men who are whole as well. We need men who are well, as whatever that means for them, their version of self-care, their wellness, so we can have whole human beings in this world. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so it was really important. I felt as if I almost ran before I could walk with Thyself Men, but it was just important to have a platform that men could see themselves in the wellness arena, in the wellness vision, in the wellness aesthetic. And it didn't have to be what has currently been set for us. Very similar to what I did with Thyself. I just wanted that vision to be applied to everyone. And I think that, like you said, there's a lot of work in the wellness and mental health arena that isn't necessarily promoted to men. And you can't have inclusive wellness if you're not doing that. It will be a long journey because I think historically the attitude has been, men should conceal their feelings. Men should be the leaders. Men should be holding all of this weight and all of this gravity and all of this pain as if they're superhuman. And we slowly have to peel back that layer, still, just as we have with Black women. But I still think there's so much to do with men in general and their mental health, and open spaces for them to speak freely. But what I provide currently with Thyself Men is just their vision of wellness, discovering what that is and bringing them in and just leaving the door open for them. It's up to them to take that step in, but the door is 100% open.
Absolutely. I think just having an open door is an incredible start, because often I feel they are left out of the conversation. I also believe that even though a book is written by a woman for a woman or women, I think men can learn so much all the same, and also non-binary folks. So please gift this book, buy a copy for yourself. I think it's an incredible guide. Chloé, I really want to get into your reading life. I know we're here to talk about your book, Take Care, but we want to know what you're reading. So share with our listeners the last book that you finished reading that you'd now recommend.
Wow, this is going to be tough. So book-wise, I'm actually currently still reading, because when it comes to books like this, it's so incredibly powerful for me, and it's almost like I'm studying. So I'm reading let me not butcher it. It's right. This is it. Yes. So I'm currently reading it on a digital version, so Kindle, and it's called Return to Source. And I believe it came out just after my book, and it's all about unlocking the power of African-centered wellness. So I love this book. I haven't actually fully connected with Araba yet, but we have been emailing, and it's just really nice to meet another person in this scene who clearly has a understanding that matches my own about reconnecting with lost heritage, finding healing, self-love, transformation, but reconnecting to self in the modern day. It's discovering what Black wellness or African wellness or African-centered wellness really means, and also paying homage to our ancestors and our descendants, and really pushing that envelope forward. So I'm literally going back and forth on pages, making notes, and it's really helping me on my journey. And the problem is that there's not many books like this. She's obviously gone and been on this journey herself, and she's being able to share that back almost like I have. However, she's literally gone back to Africa and, has done the work. And it's just beautiful to see, and it's a beautiful read.
Love it, love it. What would you say was your favourite childhood book that you can remember?
Oh, my favourite childhood book. I loved anything by Jacqueline Wilson. I would just be locked into those books. So I believe she is I think she's a British writer. But yes, she is. She's an English novelist. She wrote books for children, and I just remember being stuck in these books, and for them to be so fun and to really embody me as a growing young woman. It was just, yeah, she was feisty, like her characters were feisty. And it really set the kind of path and narrative of what we could be going forward. And I would credit a lot of, especially young women in the UK as probably reading her books and feeling empowered, regardless of what race they were.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it was really beautiful. Like one of her characters, Tracy Beaker, she had really wild curly hair. To read those words and to almost feel as if you were being represented without them actually saying it. That's
Yeah.
really, really empowering for a child that was brought up in the time that I was. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I remember the story of Tracy Beaker. So
Yes.
yeah, I do. Um, Okay, so we also love bookstores on this podcast. So share with our listeners your favorite local bookstore.
So, local bookstore, I have to shout out the team at She's Lost Control. So, they are based in Hackney, which is where I grew up. And, it's incredible to think that I have a book in a store which is so wellness and spiritual and new age focused. But I'm applying that diversity to that, and it's based in my hometown. Like, that's incredible. I love what they're doing. I love that they are so open to learning and to being allies. And, you get that sense when you go in there. So not only check them out, but also go and support them. Go and visit the store if you are ever in town. Make that journey, develop yourself and see yourself within like their kind of vision. It's just a beautiful space, and it's a safe space as well. And I really love that. There's also the Cornrow, and they're all about celebrating the modern Black aesthetic. I love that they not only create, but they source lifestyle and home products which are within the kind of modern Black aesthetic. They're not so limiting in that thought process and that aesthetic as well. I believe that Take Care is sourced there too. And it's a home and a space where you can just discover Black culture, Black art, Black books, Black brands, who, regardless of who you are. And I think it would just open your mind to different things. Like, they've got like coffee soya rub, like different fabrics, cushions. It's beautiful. Go on their website, go and check out the art. It's just a really good place to develop your understanding of modern Black African culture.
Oh, Chloe, thank you so much for sharing. I love supporting indie bookstores, and I love hearing about this home goods store that has a little bit of everything. So I will be looking into Cornrows for sure. But getting back to Take Care, I know you've done your job. You've written the book. You've given it to us. It's now out there for our consumption. However, in an ideal world, what are you hoping readers might think or feel after they've turned the last page of Take Care?
I want them to feel as if their journey is about to begin. Their wellness journey, their journey into self, their journey into community care. I want them to feel empowered. I want them to feel as if wellness is within their reach. It is possible. And, this is as much my journey as it is yours. And it's a shared journey. And I want people to want to reach out to me, tell me what they think, tell me what we can do better, any ideas that they have. I want this to be a community effort. I don't want it to just be a book that ends up collecting dust, that someone finds years later. I want it to be used and studied and be a gateway for us to really, really develop our knowledge of Black African-centered wellness, and also just bringing people back together. It's all about unity, essentially, but this is the first step.
Absolutely. This is the first step indeed. Chloé, thank you so much for coming on the show and speaking with me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to the Reader's Couch podcast. Please subscribe to the show, share it with a friend, and take a few seconds to leave a rating and review. Until next time, stay lounging, stay reading, and whenever you're in doubt, go straight to your local bookstore or library. Thanks again for listening, and happy reading.